The folks to find your seat. I am so thrilled to be here with all of you today. My name is Anne Michelle Roberts, and I am the EIB chair for this year, and it has been such an honor to work with a wonderful team to be able to put on this event for you all today. So thank you for coming out on your Saturday as we celebrate women. We celebrate women in leadership and all the amazing work that goes into each of the things that each of us does every single day. So it's a moment for us to celebrate you, a moment for us to celebrate each other, and a moment for us to celebrate our honorees. So I'm so thrilled to have each of you here. So let me give you a few housekeeping notes as always, in case of an emergency. I just want to make sure you all know how to get out of this building, as well as where the restrooms are. And like, hey, Michelle, is there food around here? Yes, of course. There's lots of food. I think that's my number one priority at all times. I love food. So if like food isn't at an event, I'm like, I don't care how good it was. I don't care who was there. So just a couple of housekeeping things for you all. The restrooms are right here. We have one to your left immediately when you walk out. And we also have some on the floor under us. So feel free, if this one is taken, you can go downstairs. But this is your quickest one. For the exits, everyone. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to take those stairs back down. That's it. That's what we have right stairs. So we have the stairway in which you came in. Then there's another set of stairs. So you're just gonna follow the exit signs if there's an emergency or a fire. So just want to make sure we know, and we pray that that does not happen. But if that is the case, please find your way to the staircase and make your way out. Grab some food as you're going because we paid for that. You know what I'm saying? So grab it. No. And as I said, I'm so excited to have each and every one of you here today. So I do want to take a moment to introduce my team, because this event wouldn't be possible if it were not for the team. This has been months in the making, and it's been put on particularly for an amazing, strong woman. But this took months, like yesterday, today, this week. That doesn't really like account for all of the work that we put in, you know what I mean? It's been months of planning, months of deciding who is our woman of the year. How do we even decide what a woman in leadership looks like? What are the credentials and who fits that? And then of course, making sure that our wonderful woman in leadership is available and has the time to be able to make it to this event. So, it's a lot of like work to go into this. So I want to just take a moment to shine a light on the team that has taken emergency phone calls, emergency meetings to make sure that this event is happening. Long meetings, it's only going to be 1 hour. I don't think they believe me when I say it's only going to be an hour. We're on the phone for like 2 hours, on the Zoom for like 2 hours, but it would not be possible if it were not for my amazing team. So I'm going to call each and every one of them. They're not going to speak because they're like, no, we want to be humble and like we're happy to do this. But I do want to shine a light on them because again, this work wouldn't be possible. And as women, we have to do a better job of like celebrating one another because the work that we do is so important. So I want to call up each of my team members. Catherine Birdwell, if you can join me up here for a moment. You can join me up here for me. Kimber. Like with logo. Shelby Kimber. This is my amazing team. So you're gonna see them mingling, you're gonna see them like hopping up. So I mean, you can join over there. I want them to make sure that they get this picture. So forever and ever they'll remember this team. Awesome. Thank you. And we have one more. In the green. Honoree, remember we are recruiting her. Working with us, today and yesterday to make this happen. So thank you so much. We welcome you in 4 or 5 years to the league. All right, team, feel free to do what you're doing, and thank you so much. Great. So thank you all. So today is the time that we celebrate women, right? The time to reflect on the courage of women in past generations, and to celebrate how their efforts and bravery offered women the opportunities and freedoms we have today. There's been a lot of glass ceilings that made it possible for me to stand here today. There have been a lot of glass ceilings to make it possible for the league to exist, you know? So we want to make sure that we stand up and celebrate that. We must celebrate, uplift, and cherish women all year round. And I want to take a moment to celebrate all the women in leadership in this room today. Can I ask all the women in leadership to stand? What?
Way more than that. Way more than that.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I see you all are playing games with me today. We're all in leadership, so thank you for being here. All right, so we have a few other people that you're going to hear from today, and we just want to make sure that this time is special. So you're going to hear some remarks from our president, Jasmine, who's going to speak to the Junior League as a whole, as well as, you know, welcome us, because I'm just doing a pre-welcome. She's going to really welcome us. And then we're going to have the history of Junior League in Boston, you know, something that I think is important for you all who aren't members to learn a little bit about. And then we're going to talk about the history of the DIB committee and the work that we put in. So you're going to be hearing from Jasmine, Megan, and Ethiopia.
Okay, so I was a coxswain in college, so I'm wondering if I
Jasmine, the video needs to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
the chest. No, that's okay. I need a scrolling hand
Yeah.
today. Yeah. Holding hand. So as Michelle said, hello, my name is Jasmine Howard. I'm the president of the Junior League of Boston. It is my absolute privilege to welcome you all here to our headquarters for this Women in Leadership Award celebration in honor of our women leader who has obtained success in her field while continuing to create opportunities for marginalized communities across Massachusetts. As some of you may know, the Junior League of Boston is a women's leadership organization whose mission is to advance women's leadership for meaningful community impact. We do this through our volunteer action, collaboration with community partners, and training. Our goal is to identify and help address needs through individual programs that we create and run through our public affairs and advocacy committee, and through community partners around our focus area, the economic empowerment of women. As the Gates Foundation defines it, women's economic empowerment is the transformative process that helps women and girls move from limited power, voice, and choice at home and in the economy to having the skills, resources, and opportunities to compete equitably in markets. It is central to realizing women's rights and gender equality. The Junior League of Boston is committed to advocating for and engaging with community organizations to ensure that the greater Boston community fosters an inclusive and thriving environment for women and girls to be equal participants, leaders, and contributors in every aspect of our community. So I encourage everyone here to mingle and engage in meaningful conversations or to forge a new connection with someone you may not have known previously. In this space, we have the opportunity to empower one another, be inspired by our awardee, and to be allies for the economic empowerment of women and commitment to building more diverse, equitable, and inclusive greater Boston community for all. So lastly, as they say, many hands make light work. So we would love to see everyone here join us in membership, as we are all committed to being catalysts for continued improvement and change in the greater Boston community. So again, thank you, welcome, and I will turn it back over to Anne Michelle.
Great, thank you. Do y'all feel welcome? Just making sure you're not having to come back up. Do y'all feel welcome? I'll pass it over to Megan.
Good morning. And before you leave, I just want to say this is Women in Leadership, but our brave leader on the diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging committee is Anne Michelle. This was her vision. She really put this all together, and I just want another round of applause for her. I'm here to offer just a little bit of history about the Junior League of Boston, but I think it's also important to recognize Boston as sort of a historical hotbed of women taking action and doing things, you know, way back to Anne Hutchinson, who was kicked out for trying to make some change. And in the early 19th century, women really sort of got together. And they, you know, they didn't really have the word privilege that we have now, but they still kind of had a sense of their privilege that sort of middle class, upper middle class women could band together and could advocate for the rights of particularly Indigenous Americans, abolitionism, and the rights of women and children at a time when none of those people had rights. And slowly sort of the upper class then got in on things, and pretty soon, you know, in order to be a society matron, you had to have a cause that you were raising money for. And in Boston, those causes really did continue to be social justice oriented. The Junior League was created to be basically a training ground for future society matrons. You had to be invited, you had to be a debutante. The average age was probably about 20 or so. And we were the second Junior League in America after New York. The woman who founded it modeled it after her friend's organization in New York City. And you know, from the beginning, it was a really interesting organization. It had an emphasis on education. The first year, they had Jane Addams from Hull House. They had a few other people who I can't remember, who are all very impressive speakers, even now that we read about. And you can imagine sort of, you know, these probably 16 to 20-year-old, very privileged women learning about a world outside their own. You know, the name changed to the Junior League about 10 years after it first formed, but the mission really sort of stayed justice oriented. By the 1950s, sort of disability advocacy became key. Boston was one of the first cities to have curb cuts because the Junior League, members of the Junior League actually personally petitioned at the State House. By the 1980s, we had really sort of shifted to women, young women and girls, the empowerment, education, health, safety of women and girls. And, you know, by that time, the league also looked very different from those early sewing circles. You did not have to be young, you did not have to be white, you did not have to be Protestant, you did not have to be invited. Boston was at the forefront also of letting anybody who applied to join the league join. You know, I don't know if it's still, but I know when I first joined about 20 years ago, in many leagues around the country, you still needed to have probably, you still need to have multiple sponsors who are already in the league. And, you know, that's a form of gatekeeping. And in Boston, we did away with that a long time ago. And I think that is something to be proud of. Now you need to be 21 years old and have an interest in volunteerism. And you know, that's great. That's why I'm here. Of course, we still do have work to do. Ethiopia will talk a little bit more about this, but I'm very proud to be on the DFIB committee. You know, as we really look forward to a future that's even more inclusive. Thank you.
Well, our own horn, but the Junior League of Boston, whoa. It's themselves.
Yeah.
And I want to point out something that's like really special to me that you brought up, Megan, about the Junior League of Boston. It is true, you all. In other leagues, you have to know someone to be a part, to recommend you pretty much, to like sponsor you to be a part of the league. And that is a gap in like bringing in all types of women and like what inclusion looks like. So we are ahead of the pack when it comes to that here at Junior League of Boston, because if you know how to volunteer, come on in. That's really all you need. And like that is what should matter, because all women want to support their community. We know statistics have shown if women are leading and they're supporting their community thrives.
That's right.
So this is exciting. Thank you for reminding us. Next, y'all are going to hear from Ethiopia. Hello. Yeah, really such a pleasure to meet all of you. Many of you, this will be my very first time to meet. This is only my second year here in the league. Really excited about it. I felt like a very small baby last year. Very safe space.
in the committee or DIB committee. So thank you so much, Megan, by the way, for that really helpful historical framing. Contextualize our league, both nationally, but even within the city of Boston. And for many of us within the league, we found the committee as an avenue for inclusion, and otherwise maybe wouldn't have joined the league if there wasn't such a committee, or felt as welcomed or as maybe empowered as we have. Mostly because of your amazing leadership as well. And another shout out, can't have too many, because you really did so much in terms of your vision and really wanting to execute this event. This is also our inaugural event for many of you, if you don't know that. And it's also our first real big welcoming event, or kind of like our first point of engagement, if you will. Some of the other events that we've done are the book club that was mentioned. And so that has all actually been via Zoom. So this is also our first in-person event of this size and of this magnitude. We've done other outreach programs with small businesses in the community. And so those were nice, but they weren't in the same vein. And so this is really feels like a moment of community building. And I'm looking around the room and there's so many diverse faces. And again, this is not always what some of these meetings look like, and certainly not in other places in the country. Personally, I'm from Texas. I never would have joined a meeting. I was there for a little while and I almost did it, but then I found out about the really amazing history that Boston has. And I thought, this would be an interesting place to start this journey. And it really has been such a wonderful thing. So some of the books that we've read have been All About Love by Bell Hooks. It was kind of the first place that we started. And I also love people to really open up about their individual experiences as well. And so the book club, I should call it a book club, it's kind of like the DIB book series where everyone is welcome to read the book or just kind of preview it and then come in for the discussion. This is also an open invitation if you've ever felt like, oh, I didn't read the book, I shouldn't come into the session. You're more than welcome to, because it also just prompts people to talk about their lived experiences and then feel like they have a safe space to share those lived experiences. And we've had that feedback as well from other people who aren't even in our committee, who have felt like, oh, I feel really seen in this small space, even if it was just for 3 hours or 2 hours or 1 hour or whatever it was, and had to hop off, or were able to follow up with people on familiar faces. So that's one point that we've done. I would also recommend if there is an organization that you would like to be featured or that you would like for the DEI committee to be in partnership with, please feel free to recommend it. We have our existing partnerships that we've worked with in terms of the small businesses that we've kind of spotlighted, but it would be wonderful to diversify it, not just in terms of the individuals who are kind of demographically represented, but even geographically within Boston. So the other thing that I would say is just, again, I just really did want to say thank you, and Michelle, for all the work that you've done. It has been great. It hasn't been easy. It's only our second year as a committee, even though it's my second year as a member. And so I think it's really impressive that we've been able to have an inaugural event and to hopefully this will continue on for years to come, and to have such a wonderful turnout. So thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for making the time today. We really appreciate it.
It's true, you all. I mean, I know you're probably thinking this has been going on forever.
No.
It hasn't been going on forever. Like, in the leagues, you have like reimagination moments, right? And I think 2 years ago, there was a lot happening in the world, and we just realized the importance of reimagining what our league looked like and reimagining what DIB needs to look like. And Elizabeth actually was the person right here. She's our former vice president who was like, no, this needs to happen. It needs to, former president, but last year you were yeah, that's what I said. Okay. I'm like, I definitely know that. Last year is when I've only been in the league 3 years. So last year we worked together, and she was absolutely amazing in realizing the vision of making sure that our DIB committee was like running, she's like, it doesn't matter if we have 5 members. The point of it is it needs to be running and it's the work that has to get done. So thank you for that. So today, it is the hope of my committee to shine a light on women and their abilities to succeed, no matter what is thrown our way, and no matter how hard it is to break that glass ceiling. Sometimes it's pretty hard. So today we will shine a light on one bright leader who defeated the odds and works every day to support our community. I'm sure you all are wondering, like, what are the requirements? Like, how does this come about? And I want you to know it's actually a really rigorous experience. You know, it's actually hard work. Our team works together. We create an outline of amazing leaders that we think are wonderful. And even within our committee, there's back and forth of like, no, we think these are the topics. No, we think these are the topics. And from that, we create the list of the overall committee picks. And then after the committee picks, it's a league-wide vote that happens. And then from that league-wide vote, we come back again as a committee and decide, all right, these are the votes. Do those align with our votes? Does that align to like our vision and what we're looking to do this year? So it's like an actual very rigorous process. And we pride ourselves in being able to say that like, we are proud of our women in leadership. We are amazed by the work that this woman has done. And we feel even more thankful that this woman took time out of her schedule to be here with us today. So we wanted to recognize a community leader for their achievement and commitment towards diversity, equity, and inclusion, and to honor a trailblazer who has achieved unprecedented success in her field and helping to create opportunities for marginalized communities across Massachusetts. It gives me great honor to introduce our woman in leadership, Tanisha Sullivan. She is a highly respected leader, attorney, and advocate for civil rights and social justice. As the president of the National Association for Advancement of Colored People here in Boston, Sullivan has been instrumental in advancing the organization's mission to fight against racial discrimination and to promote for marginalized communities. She has an educational background that is so impressive. She holds a bachelor's degree in political science from Boston College and a Juris Doctorate from Northeastern University School of Law. Her legal experience has been invaluable in her efforts to address systematic inequalities and to promote social change. And throughout her career, she has held various leadership roles in organizations dedicated to promoting justice and what it looks like for women and people in general. And in addition to her current role as the president of the NAACP, she's also the Boston branch. She also served within the Boston branch, and she has led and focused against police accountability, which, you know, police accountability is really important for us, criminal justice reform, and educational equity, and what that looks like, you know, which is really, really impressive. And it aligns perfectly with our junior league values, meaning support and comfort of our women. And so fighting for those kinds of things are really important to the greater movement. So thank you so much for that. Beyond her professional accomplishments, she is known for being a genuine, compassionate person with integrity. And in this world, integrity is so, so important. So having that, and for your peers, if you could call around, not asking if your peers. No. Years to, you know, hopefully see if they can come in everyone. She's so wonderful. She's so, oh, so wonderful. You should honor her. She should get more honor. So like, it was really amazing. And we just consider her a model for aspiring leaders and providing guidance and support to those who seek to advance social justice, specifically to women. You know, you have given an opportunity to women who look like any of us to see the glass ceilings that you've broken, to know that we can, you know, do what you've done because you pushed down that glass ceiling. Is it that way? And you did that for us? Yes. So, Tanisha Sullivan's tirelessly Tanisha Sullivan's advocacy, strategic vision, and dedication to promoting DEIB make her an exemplary leader and an inspiration to others. Her remarkable contributions to the fight for civil rights and equality have shaped and continue to shape a more inclusive and equitable society here in Boston and the greater Massachusetts. So everyone, please stand on your feet and help me in celebrating Tanisha Sullivan. Thank you, Michelle, and your wonderful committee. Thank you so very much, Megan. Thank you. Appreciate you, my double sister.
Yeah.
Junior League and Emerge. Okay. So, and of course, I want to, I have to, Madam President, thank you for your welcome and for your leadership. And Madam past EVP, past president, all the things. Thank you for your vision. Because a lot of people have great ideas, but then, you know, they don't always come to fruition, right? So, and leadership matters. So thank you. So I am like completely in awe, I have to admit, because this building didn't look like this when I was a member.
Right.
And I'm just like, I think I remember taking a vote on like the investment
Yeah.
to rent. Okay, yes, okay, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I was in those debates, discussions. Wow, this is amazing. And so congratulations, Silly, for all that you do, but certainly for ensuring that this edifice remains and is sustained for generations of women to come. This is beautiful, beautiful. So I am a former member of the league, of the Junior League here in Boston. And I share that because when I became a member, I believe it was 2009, I was a member for 2 years, 2.5. It was, upon reflection, the start of a leadership journey in so many ways. I'd always been engaged in community, always looked for opportunities to be of service and in service to women and girls. I'm a proud Girl Scout, it served on the Girl Scout of Eastern Mass Board. Volunteerism has always been a part of just what I do. But when I came into the league, it was at a time that I was also preparing to start leadership in another women's organization. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and I was becoming the president of our local branch here. And I cannot understate how influential my experience in the league was in helping to shape my leadership operationally. As I took on that leadership role. People would be like, where'd you get those ideas from? I'm like, the Junior League. Good ideas everywhere, and you're open, right, to learning, and open to the possibilities. You never know where you're going to be inspired. And so in many respects, the way I even lead now in organizations from an operational standpoint finds much of its rooting in what I learned here. And so I want to thank you for that. I also was able, have been tremendously blessed by the Junior League in friendship and sisterhood. It has been many, many moons since I was officially a part of the Junior League. But two of my closest, dearest friends, I met day one in the league. One I was a provisional with, and the other was one of the leaders of our group, Cece Van Tyne. She's an attorney here in Boston. We were provisionals together. We were a little older than everybody else. And so, you know, we found a great kinship that turned into a sisterhood, and that's my girl. And Jennifer Nassor was one of the co-leaders of our group.
And Jen is my ride or die too. They both would be here today, but both of them are traveling with their children. But both of them would be here today because, you know, even though none of us are still in the league, we all definitely hold that sisterhood. And so there too, I want to thank you for giving me the gift of sisterhood through the league as well. And I lift up, it is true that we are very close friends, Jen, Cece, and I are very, very close friends, but I lift that up also to share that we are in many respects unlikely friends.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Jen and Cece, both white women, both lawyers, we had that. Both of them are Republicans. Jen at the time was chair of the Massachusetts Republican Party here, and when we met. And so when I share with people like, those are my girls, people are like, really? Those are my girls. Because we gave each other a chance.
Yeah.
Right, and when we talk about sisterhood, and when we talk about sisterhood in service, being open, letting those walls come down and seeing the humanity in one another, it can make all the difference. So I'm appreciative of that, and I also hope that it is an encouragement to those who are members today and those who you will be bringing into the organization to be open to the experience. Because you never know what gifts, what blessings you'll get as a result. So I am truly honored to receive this recognition. It is completely unexpected. I must admit, I thought I was just being invited months ago. I was just being invited to an event, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll come. And then to learn, Emory was like, okay, so like, we want to like honor you. And I was like, oh, okay. And so it really is a surprise. It is humbling in so many respects, because I do what I do because I care, and because of my commitment to service. You know, I am, I've worked in the biotech industry for many, many years. Recently moved out of legal practice with one of our large biotech companies in Massachusetts, now in another executive role. But the NAACP is volunteer for me.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. Right. And so I went the league, and then I did Delta, and then it was NAACP. This is volunteer.
Yes, yes.
And again, so there's junior league roots. Y'all can claim some of this. And all of the things that we now do in service. And so I am very appreciative of the recognition. It is humbling, and definitely I embrace it with love and gratefulness. And I don't take it for granted. It gives me kind of encouragement to keep doing the work. Before I sit down, I also want to, because it's all about volunteering. So one of the big projects I'm working on right now with NAACP, we focus on policy, advancing social justice, racial justice policy. But we have the honor this year of hosting the National NAACP Convention in Boston.
Wow.
My third job. There will be about 8,000 to 10,000 people from across the country who will come to Boston to be a part of this convention. And we're recruiting volunteers. It is July 26th through August 1st. We are going to have a big citywide kind of pre-event that is a day of service for the city of Boston on July 22nd. I know there is process in the league, and so I would ask, certainly I'm happy to share more information, but would love to have the league be a part of our volunteer corps for that convention. And be, again, y'all get to claim something.
Yeah.
So again, thank you, grateful, and wish the league all the best in its future endeavors.
Okay.
Please. I don't need an agenda.
Nope.
Not right now.
Yours.
Celeste, can you get in one picture? Can you get in one picture? Can you get in one picture? This is our executive vice president. Yeah. What? Oh, it's fine.
One, two.
In Ethiopia, this photo needs to be sent to National Junior League to be included in some publications.
Actually, it's the internet.
Yeah.
Wow, y'all heard that, right?
Yeah.
This event is so fabulous. This award is so fabulous that we need to send it out. Me, I agree with you. But I really just want to thank you. And I think it's so clear to everyone in this space why this woman is our woman in leadership. And just so you know, we were all screaming. Well, now I informed them, like, by the way, she was a former junior league member. Like, my whole committee was like, stop. Are you kidding me? Like, full circle, we knew that this pick was perfect. But you are the epitome of what a strong woman in leadership is. We are all so proud and so excited for the young girls and the women who can see their potential because of you. So we thank you. We thank you for volunteering not only with the Junior League, but just for your continuous dedication to our community and to our great state. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And sign me up, girl. But you all, I just want to thank everyone for being here today. Our priority was, of course, celebrating this woman in leadership. And, wouldn't be able to do this again without my team. But I did want to take a moment to just celebrate maybe one or two more people within the league, you think that's okay?
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, within the league, and I'm actually going to ask for Jasmine to help me with this next little moment, okay?
So it is my pleasure to stand here and introduce you to an exceptional Junior League of Boston member. Since joining the league in 2013, Celeste Scott Walker. Has been a positive force for change and innovative leadership. Having served with Celeste this year, she serves as our executive vice president. She epitomizes sort of the idea that junior league women get work done and get things done. When there's something that needs to be solved, Celeste is the person who is always rising to the occasion to fill in the gaps, figure out what needs to get done, and just get the work done. So Celeste has had numerous placements with the Junior League of Boston. She has chaired our 110th anniversary gala. She's had experience with multiple community placements. She served on our executive management team and just continues to rise to the challenge. This year, I would say it was no small task to sort of get programs back up and running after the previous 2 years of, for all intents and purposes, being sort of shut down or at limited capacity. And I think one of the biggest things we learned was we have a lot of members who never had the opportunity to see the league before COVID. And Celeste has really done a great job of both helping imagine and new events, but also making sure that things that we've really done well in the past are getting back up and running. So, but
Okay,
I would have loved a heads up. But at any rate, thank you so much. I want to thank Anne Michelle and her team for putting on this event. I absolutely want to thank all of the women that are sitting here in leadership. I stand here on or in the heels of the woman who come before me, like your Elizabeth Chemensky, who is a former EVP. I stand here with the support of our president, Jasmine Howard, and that of our board. We have our board member here, Ashley, I want to point her out. And then we also have Pamela, who's also a former president. I stand here with her support. I just want to reiterate that the Junior League of Boston is a special place, and it's a special place in my heart too. I love the fact that it's not only a safe place, but it's also a place where we can come and we can try out our leadership. It's also a place where, again, with glass ceilings, you know, we've broken some of those glass ceilings here in the Junior League of Boston. DEIB started as a task force, then it became a committee, and we will now move that up to becoming a full member of the executive vice president or the EMT board. And so just want to say that everything happens as a result of everyone working together, right? This is no small task. And so thank you all so much for being here and for the support that you give to the Junior League of Boston.
thank you so much, Celeste. So again, there's a lot of dreaming up and there's a lot of imagination that happens when it comes to the DEIB committee. Our focus, of course, was celebrating you, Tanisha Sullivan, the work that you've done. And I came to my team and I was like, you know, like we are here celebrating a wonderful woman in our office, at our home, really, you know? I think it's essential for us to celebrate someone that I think is wonderful, like a wonderful leader. And the moment I said, y'all, let's celebrate Celeste. My team was like, let's do it. So yeah, we didn't want to tell you, obviously. It was a secret, but again, months in the planning and just like something that was important for us to do, no matter what. It was beneficial to, your work has been beneficial to the league, and thus beneficial to our community, and thus necessary for us. You know, I think sometimes we forget the people that are in leadership when it comes to the work that's happening, right? You'll thank this person, that person, but you know, we forget each other once in a while. So it was important to me and to my team to make sure that happened. And in that same breath, I want to say that I came in 3 years ago. My team is a baby team. So what that looks like is we don't have anyone within the DEIB committee that's their only job. So they are in another committee, and then this is like extra if you want to. You know what I mean? So that's kind of tough because maybe you'll show up, maybe you won't. My team was dedicated and that wasn't the case, but that like is like kind of the situation. So I'm so excited that next year it's like a core placement and people will be focused on this committee. But I bring that up to say 2 years ago, I'm talking to this wonderful woman on the phone. She's telling me, you can totally do this. I'm like, I feel excited, but that's kind of a lot of work. Do you think that I could do this even though I was never in the DIB committee before? She's like, well, it wasn't a committee, you know, it's been a little while. We're relaunching it and you can reimagine it. Are you sure I can reimagine this? It seems like a lot to reimagine, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you reimagine? And this woman is absolutely reimagine it. I trust you. I have confidence in you. You're a leader. You can get it done. Anything comes up, call me. I'll be there. And she was. And I want to take a moment to celebrate you as well, Elizabeth, because you stayed on the phone with me. You put for this last year when no one was thinking about it. My committee would not exist had you not pushed for it last year. You know, of course, this year we're moving and shaking. At the end of last year, everyone, you know, but when nobody thought this committee was going to have anyone, you believed in me. You believed in my team. Some of them were from last year, and you were like, you are doing it. Let me back you up. And backing, when you have a leader who says that they're going to back you up, oh, they're going to back you up. She's like, what's happening? Her and Kathleen was the president at the time, and she was the vice president at the time. There was not one event that I had that one of them didn't show up to. Not one. Every single event. Me and Ethiopia would get off our sip and reads or our sip and shop, and we would be like, were they on the call again? Did you see how they were participating? Oh my gosh, they wouldn't have participated. Do you think people would have participated? And they're like, yeah, we would have participated. Yeah, but it makes a big difference that the president and the vice president were dedicated. So I just want to tell you that you never know the kind of like, you just never know the impact that you have in someone's life. And that goes to all of you. You never know the impact you have on someone's life. So the words that you say, the things that you do make an impact. So thank you. And thank you, because truly, do I not talk about Kathleen and Elizabeth all the time? My team will tell you, this is not for it's not for a show. This is because it's true. So thank you. Sorry I made you cry. Yes, of course, of course.
I have to say they are happy tears, but I remember that phone call as well. I remember it a little bit differently. Yeah, I've done 1 or 2 or 25 things in the league. And I had heard about this amazing woman. And we were on the phone call and she said, well, are there any constraints of what I can do? And I said, no. And I was like, she's like, I have all these ideas. I said, thank goodness. It's like, really? I'm like, if you're gonna do it, I'll make sure it will happen. And that's what I remember is that you said yes. And I was gonna do whatever it took to make sure you said yes. And so I remember that. She's gonna say yes, and she's gonna say yes. We really need her. But I don't remember all the rest of that, but all I know was that I knew that you were the person that we needed. So thank you.
Oh, yeah, I'm a crier, so I'm trying not to cry because truly. I remember the fall. You know, but that's just the power of the league, right? That's the power of celebrating women. That's the power of women in leadership, because you never know the impact that you're going to have on someone. And that's like what the junior league is about. Y'all, I am, you know, we're all in organizations. We're all doing wonderful things in life. But when you find a place that's like home, sorry. You stay there, right? You figure it out. My team, y'all have been so amazing. This. Oh my God.
It is such an honor to be on this team. I'm on it because last year I actually went to a presentation. I don't know. Do you remember me?
I do remember you.
It's embarrassing. And I asked to be in the committee this year, and I was like, oh, I'm glad she put me on it. I'm so glad they put me on it, and honestly, your ideas have been so good this year, and the sip and reach has been fantastic. I highly recommend it here in the league. You know, I totally admit that I have not finished every book that I should. But you know, the events are great, and you're just so organized, like you have a vision, like that's what you need, and that's what the league really helps, you know, train people to do, to execute their vision. Like that's how you become a leader. Anybody can have an idea. I have 1,000 ideas to make the world a better place. And what does that do for anybody if you don't actually know how to put those into effect? And you know how to put these ideas into effect, and I'm so glad that you have been our brave leader, and let's all give another round of applause. You need to get your energy up before you go to the parade.
Oh my gosh, Jen, you're going to the parade. Thank you so much. Thank you for saving me because it was gonna get messy. Okay, so thank you all so much for being here. This is our program for today. We wanted to celebrate women in leadership. We're so thankful for Tanisha Sullivan. We're so thankful to each of the leaders that are here. We're thankful for all of you. And I just want to say that when we celebrate women, it shines a light on this land because we don't celebrate women enough. So today, I hope you leave here feeling happy. I hope you feel here feeling uplifted. And I hope you leave here knowing that you can do whatever you put your mind to. Yes, ma'am.
And Michelle,
Yes, ma'am.
I want to say something, if it's okay.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I'm overcome with joy, delight, a heavy heart. I joined the Junior League of Boston in 1982. Another sustainer is back there. When I joined, I think there were 2 women in the league at that time that worked. I never imagined that the day would come when I would see not just 1, not 2. I'm very grateful for the training I received in the league. It has helped me to do my day job, volunteer work. My day job, I'm the pastor of a local church. I've done, the young lady back there, we were having a conversation. She asked me, what was your league career like? I said, I've done everything in the league except be president. But you so if anyone here in the room is thinking about joining the Junior League of Boston, please come. You'll get a free, you don't need to go to HBS. Come to the Junior League of Boston. You'll get all the management training. You can fun doing it. I just want to say I am so proud of you all.
Thank you.
I'm like, what? No, we cannot be crying. Thank you for that. That's just telling us that we can go on. Nothing is that big. What we can't control, we can't control. But as women, we can stick together and support each other, encourage each other, and uplift each other. Today, we've been uplifted. Thank you. We have been uplifted today, and we've been reminded why the league is here and the purpose of it. So thank you to everyone that's here. Thank you to our women in leadership. One more time. Thank you to my amazing team as well. Thank you for all the work that y'all put in. Well, there's food in there. Trying a few options. Let's mingle, let's eat, let's have a good time, and you all feel free to tour the whole building. The whole building, check it out, okay? Thank you.